Okay. Okay, can. Okay, so for the organization of plant tissue，所以我们来复习多一次。OK，你们就当做这个 chapter 是你们没有学过的，for 这个 chapter one。OK，所以你们再重新帮我学多一次。OK，也顺便你们可以看一下你们的头脑里面你还记得有什么 point。OK，如果有什么地方不明白的，你们都可以跟我讲。OK，所以来 for the first one，for the plant tissue。OK，plant tissue 的话，主要我们有分成两个 type，第一个就是 for the meristematic tissue。所以每一次只要我讲到 for the meristematic，然后你可以想一下它里面的 characteristic，包括还有什么 example，它的 function 是什么啊？你们可以帮我复习多一次。And then for the second one is for the permanent tissue。OK，so for the meristematic and the permanent 这两个最大的差别就是，for the meristematic 它是没有 differentiation process 的，这个是没有 undergo for the differentiation。哎，来我考一下，what is the function for the differentiation process？为什么要进行 differentiation 呢？它主要的 purpose 是什么？Yes, very good. To produce a specific function， 你可以 form the specialized cell， 所以你才可以有 specific function 的。This one is meristematic, OK? For the differentiation. But for the permanent， 它是 after the differentiation 了的。This one is for the permanent tissue, OK? 所以你们可以帮我看这边 ，for the meristematic tissue， 因为这个是还没有 differentiation，so this one is for the young cell。然后他们只是 carry out for 一个 process 罢了 ，which is a growing process， 它只是 for growth 而已的，它只是 for 成长罢了 ，OK？But for the permanent tissue， 这个有 specific function 的 ，so this one 我们有分成三个 group 的 ，three group of the permanent， 然后每一个 example 都有自己的 specific structure and the specific function。So example 来第一个就有 for the vascular tissue，and then for the second one for the epidermal tissue，and then for the last one for the ground tissue。So this is an example for the permanent. OK， 所以最主要 meristematic and the permanent， 你们要帮我懂它里面的 example， 然后等一下我们会学到它里面的 process，because for the growth is a process， 所以里面我们会学到有几个 process。OK， 所以有什么地方不明白的话，你们再跟我讲。OK 啊，所以我们来看第一个。Organization of the plant tissue. So for the first one, meristematic tissue. Meristematic 可以分成两个 ，OK？ 第一个我们叫做 apical meristematic。Apical meristematic that means it will increase the number of cells for growth。刚刚我讲过 meristematic 就 for 成长的，但是成长有分两种。这一个的话是向上成长 ，that means 它是 increase for the length of the plant， 它是增加它的高度的。So example you can see root and shoot。Root 的话是越变越长 ，and then for the shoot 的话是越来越高，这两个都是 for 长度的。OK，so this one is for the apical meristematic。But for the second one 的话，我们叫做 lateral meristem。If for the lateral 这个的话，它是 for increase the diameter， 这个是 for 增加它的 thickness 的。So 会有 certain 的 plant 哦，你会看到它们特别的长，可是它们没有这么粗。Example 来的 pandan。OK 啊，这种都是比较细的，它们没有这么粗的。可是来的 durian tree、coconut tree 啊这一种它们都是比较粗，它们 diameter 比较大的啊。This one is for the lateral。所以其实两个都是 for growth。But 如果你们还记得的话 ，for the meristematic tissue 这个 grow 的话是 for the primary growth， 它们只是 undergo for the primary 罢了。But for the lateral meristem, this one is for the secondary growth。OK， 所以等一下我们会学到 for the primary and the secondary。OK，so for the first one you can to see apical meristematic you can found in the root and the shoot for the root tip and the shoot tip。OK，所以我们来做一个小小的 revision。Inside the root tip you got the three growth zone。这三个 growth zone 就是 for 那一个 primary growth 的 ，OK？ 所以从最下面开始 ，because for the root 是越来越长嘛，对不对？所以它是从下面开始的，它下面会负责成长，会负责越来越长。所以 for 下面这一边是 for the zone of cell division。So this is the first zone of cell division。And then after that you go to the zone of cell elongation。在最上面的时候，你就是 zone of cell differentiation。OK， 所以我们复习一下 for 这个三个 growth zone。OK。如果去到 shoot tip 的时候呢，它是 opposite 的。shoot tip 的话，它是越来越高，所以它是从上面开始的。So for this one, the first zone 在上面 ，so this one 也是 zone of cell division. And then we go to the second one, zone of cell elongation. And then the last one, zone of cell differentiation. 所以其实 for 它的顺序都是一样，我们一定是从 division 开始先 ，and then go to the elongation, and then for the last one is the differentiation. 它只是 opposite 罢了。root 从下面开始 ，shoot 从上面开始的。OK，so this is for the apical。OK， 所以这里我们最主要是帮我懂它的名字跟它的 zone。OK， 然后 for the root 的话，有一个你们可以帮我懂 for the root cap。root cap that means is for the external, the outermost layer for the root. OK， 真正你的 root tip 是在这里啊，它里面的这个滴数，这个才是比较脆弱的，它是 undergo for the cell division 的。它最外面的这一层是 for the root cap，so it can protect the root tip from the mechanical injury. Because for the root they need to penetrate downward， 在下面你会有很多那些很硬的石头，你不知道它有什么东西的，所以你 need to protect for the root tip. Okay, for 这个 ，Yeah, that's all. So this is for the apical. Okay, and then we go to the next one for the lateral. Lateral 的话，我们就可以在两个地方可以找得到 ，because this one is for diameter. Diameter that means 是 for 它的宽度，所以 you can see the diagram actually 是圆形的，宽度是 for 圆形的 for a cross section， so 这个也是 for 圆形的 circle for the tissue， so you can see for the vascular cambium。vascular cambium 在哪里啊？如果你们还记得的话 ，xylem and the phloem 我们叫做 vascular tissue， 这两个是 for vascular tissue 来的 ，OK？ 所以 xylem 跟 phloem 的中间 ，example you can see the red color one， this one is a vascular cambium。所以这里就 vascular cambium 哦 ，this one is for the lateral meristem，OK？ 所以这个会负责 undergo for the secondary growth 的 vascular cambium，OK？ 第二个的话是 for the cork cambium，cork cambium 的 means 是 for 外面 ，OK？ 最外面那一个 cork 的 means 是 for 它的外层 ，OK？ the external layer，so you can see for the cork cambium，yeah like this。所以这两个会 undergo for the secondary growth. So example, you come to see for the function. For the vascular cambium, it will produce a secondary xylem and a secondary phloem. But for the cork cambium, it will form the new protective layer. So that's why 你会摸到那些最粗的那些树啊，它们的外皮都是比较粗的 ，OK， 比较硬的啊。This one is for the cork cambium. OK, so for the page 2, you just help me to know for 它的名字跟它的 type 就可以了啊。This one is for the meristematic。OK， 可以。来 ，next 我们 go to the next one for the permanent tissue。permanent tissue 我刚才讲过了 ，this one is a mature tissue undergone the cell differentiation。啊，所以这个是它的 definition 啊，它的 meaning。And then for the three group, for the first one, epidermal tissue。epidermal tissue 里面有3个 example 的，所以你们可以帮我懂它的名字跟 function。So for the first one, cuticle。来我考你们一下 ，What is the characteristic of cuticle？ 啊，这 chapter 2你们学好了啊。What is the characteristic for the cuticle？Like you can see for the function, cuticle can prevent the loss of water. Why? Yes, very good, 很好。Yeah, yes, very good. Waterproof or waxy layer 都可以。Yes, well done. This one is for the cuticle. OK， 所以它就是你们每次摸叶子的时候，你会摸到那一层很像蜡这样子的that one is for the cuticle 啦 ，prevent the water loss. Next, for the root hair cell 这个我相信你们都懂。For root hair, sorry.For the root, on the surface of the root, you can see for the long projection 这个长长的this one is for the root hair. So it can increase the surface area for the water and the mineral absorption. So this is for the root hair cell okay? And then for the last one, gut cell. Inside the gut cell 你们可以帮我懂两个东西，在 gut cell 的中间就 for the stoma 这个我相信你们懂了的 OK？ 然后 for the gut cell function, control the opening and closing of stoma.So this is for the gut cell, okay? So this one is for the permanent tissue. Epidermal that means for 外层外皮this one is epidermal, okay? 所以在它表面的 cuticle 在 leaf 的表面 root hair cell 是在 root 的表面 gut cell 的话也是 at the lower epidermis of the leaf 嘛，所以这个也是在它的表面的this one is for the epidermal, okay? And then for the next one, vascular tissue. So vascular tissue 最主要的就是你要帮我懂它的名字and also for the adaptation, name and adaptation, okay? Xylem and phloem 最重要 for the adaptation 的 what is a special characteristic? At least 你帮我懂两个啦。So example like the first one, xylem. Xylem function compulsory is transport water and mineral salt. But why? 为什么它可以 transport water? So example like the first one, you can see the diagram. Inside the xylem vessel 它是 hollow tube, 它是空心的。So it can ensure the continuous flow of water. OK， 你不可以 block 着你的 water， 你 block 这的话，你的 water 就断了，它就不能够 transport up 了的。So for the first adaptation, consists of the elongated hollow tube connected to each other. OK, and also for the second one, wall of the xylem are thickened with the lignin. So what is the function for the lignin? Lignin can provide support, increase the mechanical strength to the plant. So this one is for the lignin.Okay, so this is a xylem 的，所以 for orange 色的是它 adaptation for 黄色那个是 for 它的 function 的 ，OK， and then for next one, phloem， phloem 我相信你们都知道 ，it can transport the organic substance from leaf to other part of the plant， so this is for the phloem， 它是负责 transport，来， 你们给我 example for the organic substance inside the plant 有什么 organic substance 是可以找得到的 ？What is the example? Yeah, yes, very good. Glucose and then others? Yeah, sucrose 也是可以。Yes, very good. Well done. Yeah, for the amino acid. Yeah, starch 也是可以。But normally for starch 的话，我们会讲它 store as starch. Yeah, starch 的话就是 as a storage product 来的啊，那个我们就很少会讲到 transport 了。如果是 transport 的话，normally 我们写 for the sucrose and amino acid, one for carbohydrate, one for protein 的。OK? Yes, very good. Yeah, 所以你们可以帮我写下去了 for the sucrose and the amino acid. So this is for the flowworm. Then what is the adaptation for the flowworm? Example, the first one. OK, 我考一下你们 flowworm 里面是 carry out 什么 process? The diffusion process. 它是 carry out for the simple diffusion, facilitated diffusion, active transport, or osmosis? Which one? 来，全部人给我知道一下。Yeah, yes. Yes, very good. Yes, 很好，来帮我写下去。If inside the flowworm, it will carry out for the active transport. This one is for the active transport. Active transport that means you need to carry from low concentration to high concentration. OK， 所以这个它需要 for the companion cell. This is the adaptation for the flowworm. Inside the companion cell, 它有最多的什么 organelle? What is the organelle found abundance in the companion cell? Yes, very good. Mitochondria. 还有很多 mitochondria 的。So for the mitochondria function is supply energy. So the energy you can use in the active transport because active transport 你需要用到 energy 的嘛，所以这个是 for 它的 adaptation 来的。OK， 可以。And also inside the flowworm 你可以帮我懂几个 labeling。来 the first one 你会看到它中间这里有这个 blockage 的啊，这个我们叫做 sieve plate. This one is for the sieve plate. And then at the middle you can see for the cylinder one 啊，这个啊 this one is for the sieve tube. Okay, yeah, like this. So this is for the flowworm. So flowworm 跟 xylem 最大的差别是 xylem 中间是空的 ，but for the flowworm between 它会有那个 sieve plate 在那边。So you can base on the diagram and then identify for the vascular tissue. Okay, and then for the last one, the ground tissue. Okay, so for the ground tissue 啊，有很多学生不知道怎样分 for the parenchyma 跟 collenchyma。Because scaren 很容易分 ，scalenchyma 最大的差别就是它的 cell wall 是最厚的。This one have a thicker cell wall. 所以你看到最后那个 compulsory for the scalenchyma, OK? But then for the colon 跟 parent 啊 ，parent you can see 啊 ，actually for parent 哦，它就只是一个很薄的一个 cell wall，它 just a normal plant cell 罢了。But for the collenchyma, actually you can see it got a double layer 在这边的。Because 它一个 plant cell 它会有一个 thick 的 cell wall, and then for another plant cell 它也是会有那个 thick 的 cell wall. So actually you can see for the double layer, and also for the thickness unevenly. 所以才你会看到它的那个 diagram 有一点 K 影 K 影，有点畸形畸形这样子的。OK， 它的 shape 不是很平均的，有一点斜斜这样的。This one is for the collenchyma, but normally for the parenchyma 它的形状都是来的圆形这样。OK， 它不会来很像有一点六角形的，你可以看到它的差别嘛。If for the collenchyma 还有点像六角形这样子的 ，but if for the parent, it just like the circle 一个 spherical 的形状罢了。Yeah, so this is a difference. OK， 第一个你们可以 base on the diagram. OK， 第二个呢，你们可以 base on 题目。Example， 有一个学生他有 send 我的 parenchyma 跟 collenchyma 题目，你们可以看他题目的。有时候哦，你们的一个题目啊 ，example， 我 show 给你看一个 example 啊。question，OK， 你们的 question one 是这样子的吗？它会有这种 A B C D 的，对不对 ？OK， 有时候他问你，他叫你 label for the structure B P。如果你真的不知道那个 P 是什么，其实你可以看一下它下面的题目的。可能它下面的题目会有讲到关于到 P 的东西，明白我意思吗？那你就可以看到它的 characteristic。So example for the parenchyma and the collenchyma，OK， 假设他跟你讲叫你 label for the tissue P， 可能那个 P 是 parent 啊，但你不懂那个是 parent 嘛，你在 confuse 到底是 parent 还是 colon 呢？那你就看它下面的题目，可能它下面的题目会有讲到 for the P 它可以 store the product of the photosynthesis， 或者是还要你 state P have a function relate to the photosynthesis， 这样那个就一定是 parenchyma 了 ，because only the parenchyma 它是 relate to the photosynthesis 的 ，collenchyma 是没有的，明白那意思啊？所以你看到那个题目，其实它就是在给你 hint 这个就肯定是 parenchyma 了的。 OK，所以你们有两个方法可以这样子分啊，一个是 based on the diagram，第二个是你看它下面的题目。OK，因为有时候 especially 如果是学校出的考卷啊，有时候因为有一些考卷它的题目会太像了，OK，所以就你会分不出来，但你可以看它下面的题目的。OK，for 这个，然后如果你们有在做到类似这样子的问题，你们也可以拍照了再 send 给我知道。OK，So for the first one, parent karma tissue，So 这个我刚才讲过了 for the characteristic thinness cell wall。等一下我 show 给你们看一个 example of the question，OK，那你们就会了。So for the parenchyma，所以其实all the ground tissue 啊，它们最主要的 function 都是 for support 的。其实3个都是可以 support 的，只是 parenchyma 因为它的 cell wall 最薄，so for this one 它 support 的 power 没有这么强，OK，所以它真正它还有多一个 main 的 function，which is 它有 large vacuole，so you can see inside got a lot of the large vacuole。所以这些 large vacuole can help to store the product of the photosynthesis. Yeah, so this one is relate to the photosynthesis. So this one is a parenchyma. OK， 所以在 phloem 里面，你也是会有很多的 parenchyma 的。You can find abundance parenchyma because of phloem 就是负责 transport organic substance 嘛。OK， 呀、就这样子啦。But actually 它也是可以 support 的，but 它 only support for the herbaceous plant，for 草字茎啊，比较软软的。Okay, so this one is a parenchyma. Next, collenchyma tissue. So for this one 是 second one，所以这个是 medium 的，它的 thickness of cell wall 是在中间的，它比 parenchyma 厚，but then 它比你的 scarenchyma 薄一点，所以 this one 在中间的。Okay, so you can see the keyword unevenly thickened，所以它是 uneven 的。Okay, and then even this one is thickened by the pectin and also for the hemicellulose, thickened at the corner 啊，so that you can see 它通常在 corner side 是最厚的。For the corner side 是最后的，so this one is for the collenchyma。OK， 所以你看一下 for 它的那个 characteristic。This one provide the mechanical support to the plant。OK，but for the scarenchyma 的话，this one also can provide the mechanical support to the plant，but normally for 这个的 plant 是 for the woody plant，because for the scarenchyma 是最强的，所以这个 normally 是 support for the woody 的，woody 就 for 最粗最 powerful 的那一个。And then for this one is taken by the lignin。OK。Yeah, like this 就是这样啦。So this is for the permanent tissue。来，so far 到这边 ，any question？ 有地方不明白吗 ？Angeline OK， 一君 Ken， 一心凯奇，宇轩，sorry， 我念错你名字，你给我知道啊。And 10 OK 啊 ，Ken 啊。Yeah, so actually for the page 2跟 page 3，最主要只是你们帮我懂名字 function and also for the diagram。Permanent tissue 你们就是要帮我懂 diagram 啊。Collenchyma 的话 normally 是 for the herbaceous。Collenchyma 它就不能够 support 到 for the woody， 因为这个没有到这么 strong， 所以 normally 它 supply 的 mechanical strength 跟它 support 都是 for the herbaceous plant 或者是 for the young plant。Yeah, this one is for the collenchyma 的。OK，Yes, very good. Now, yeah， 你们有问题你们都可以讲出来的。OK， 所以你们可以给我知道。OK， 来 ，we go to the next one。After 这一个了过后，我们做一下小练习，然后我们再 go to the process，OK？、所以我们分成2个 part 啊，for 今天，一个是 for all the tissue, the diagram, the function and all the name，OK？、第二个 part 的话，we directly go to the process，OK？、然后我们还有最后一个 part 是 for 那个 grow curve 的，but grow curve actually 很简单啊，OK？ 所以那个我们最后的时候我们才上，所以你们可以帮我看 ，this one 呢，你们要帮我懂的是 for the position of xylem and phloem。OK, for the position of the xylem and phloem， 尤其是你们考试很喜欢叫你们 compare the differences between the eudicotyledon and the monocotyledon， 它们的 xylem and phloem 的 position 有什么差别 ？Actually， 你这样子 compare 哦，你很明显看得出的 ，especially for the stem 的话是最明显的。For the eudicotyledon 代表什么意思啊？你们可以帮我写下去，我相信你们大家都懂了。For the woody plant。木质茎的，this one is for the eudicotyledon。Normally for 它们的 leaf 都是 in the network。So for example like the herbaceous 啊，balsam 啊，this one is for the eudicotyledon。But if for the monocotyledon，this one is for the herbaceous plant， 草质茎的。So normally for 它们的 vein 都是 in the parallel。So this is a difference 啊，所以你们可以帮我看一下。For one plant, you can separate into 3 parts: leaf, stem 跟 root. And then compulsory for every part 它都一定会有 xylem and phloem. 因为你的 xylem 就是要 transport the water from root to the leaf。phloem 就是要 transport the organic substance from leaf to the root， 对不对？所以它 every part 都会有的，所以你最主要是要搞懂它的 position 跟它的那个 shape， 它的形状。我们先看 U die 的先，因为 U die 是你们一定要会的。Sometimes 它会叫你 draw 啦 ，OK，so better than 你可以帮我懂它的那个 shape， 它的那个形状。So for example, the first one, the leaf. What is the adaptation for leaf? Leaf 有几个东西你们要懂的。第一个 for the cuticle。The outermost layer 最外面的那一层 ，that one is for the cuticle。Just now 我们讲过了 ，cuticle is for the waxy layer, waterproof, so it can minimize the water loss. It can prevent the water loss through the evaporation， 或者是你们要写 transpiration 也是可以。耶，你们大家都学过 for transpiration 的嘛，所以两个都一样的，都 OK 的。OK，so this one is for the leaf 啊。So sometimes 还叫你 label 的 ，OK。然后 next，so inside the leaf 啊。For xylem and phloem 的 position， 你们可以帮我看 xylem at the upper part， 所以上面的这个是 for the xylem， 你会看到 orange 色的那个是 for the xylem 的，下面白色那个是 for the phloem，so for the phloem 是 at the lower part，OK，at the medium 的 xylem 跟 phloem 的中间那一条线，我们叫做 vascular cambium。Yeah, that one is for the vascular cambium， 就是我们讲的 lateral meristem tissue， 它会 undergo for the secondary growth。OK 啊，那个等一下我们做复习啊。所以这整个 group 呢，我们叫做 vascular bundle。So the vascular bundle is a group name。OK，vascular bundle 你在两个地方可以找得到，一个是 for the leaf， 一个是 for the stem。只有 leaf 跟 stem 的叫 vascular bundle。For the root 的话，我们叫做 vascular cylinder。OK， 所以你们 label 你们考试的时候你们要注意看，因为这个考试很喜欢问 labeling 的 ，especially for the structure。OK， 所以如果它是 in the root， 那个是 for the vascular cylinder。OK，so for the stem 你们可以帮我看 ，for the shape 是一个 ring form， 它是一个圆圈一个 circle 来的。So this one is in the ring form。OK，so for the xylem 在里面 ，phloem 在外面。这我跟你们讲过的啊 ，phloem for the P for protect， 所以你要保护人，你一定是站外面的嘛。你在外面才可以保护到人家嘛 ，OK？for 这个 ，so for the phloem 是外面的 xylem 是里面的 ，OK？ 所以它们中间那一个 ring form 啊 ，this one also is a vascular cambium，so together 就是 vascular bundle 啦 ，OK？ 就这样子。And then for the pith， 来我考一下 ，anyone still remember for the function of pith？pith 拿来做什么的 ？Yes, very good. Store organic substance. Yes， 很好。This one 是负责 store for the nutrient 的啊 ，this one is for the pith 啦 ，OK？ 呀，有时候考试会问到啦 ，OK？ 有时候不了。呀，so this is the stem， 所以 stem 是 in the ring form 的 ，OK？And then for the next last one root，root 的话最重要的东西 ，because for the root is absorb the water， 代表说 water 在 root 里面是最多的，所以你的 xylem 肯定也是最大个的，so that's why the xylem at the center，you can see the star shape。那个 star shape 的 that one 是 for the xylem，OK， 那个是最大个的 ，because you want to absorb the water。At the surrounding 的那些小小个的，就是 for the phloem 啦 ，OK，for the small one 的，它 fill up the surrounding of the xylem 的，啊，这个就 for the phloem，OK，so the xylem and the phloem 我们叫 vascular cylinder，this for the root，OK 啊，可以啊，Yeah，that's all 就是这样，so this is for the eudicotyledon，and then for the last one monocotyledon。mono 的话，它的 leaf 基本上跟刚才那个是一样的，它的 xylem 也是在上面 phloem 也是在下面，所以 you can see at the center xylem 在上面 phloem 在下面。So for the leaf actually 是一样的 ，leaf 没有差别。But for the stem 你可以帮我看，刚刚那个是 in the ring form，but this one the vascular bundle scattered throughout the stem， 它是很乱的 ，all the arrangement 是很乱的 ，OK？But 也是一样啦。For the xylem is found toward the inside of stem。Okay, so you can see this is for the xylem 也是在里面的，它是 inside，but for the phloem is outside。我刚才讲过吗 ？phloem for P 代表什么 ？P 代表 protect， 所以你要 protect 人，你是在外面的。所以其实它的 arrangement 一样 ，OK， 只是 for 它的那整个 diagram 是很乱的 ，OK，for the stem 这个是 for scattered 的 ，OK， 它整个是乱的。But for the root 的话，你就可以帮我看啦。刚才 for the eudicotyledon 哦，你的 xylem 是 in the star shape 的吗？而你的 phloem 在这边。But 如果是 for monocotyledon 呢，它是 arranged in the ring form 的一个 circle 的一个圆圈的 ，OK， 所以你们可以帮我 highlight 起来 for 这个 xylem tissue alternate with the phloem tissue in the ring form。alternate that mean 一个排一个 ，OK， 它是接着排的。So you can see for the xylem，you can see for the xylem phloem xylem phloem xylem phloem 啊，so this one is for the alternate，OK， 然后它有 more than 6 xylem bundle。Yeah，that's all， 就是这样啦。 So these are differences between the U dye and the mono. OK， 来，你们帮我看一下 for the exercise， 我们来看一下 for the question。我们直接做练习啊 ，OK， 所以你们看一下，你们考试通常是不这样问的。So for the first one, the question one, diagram one show a cross section of U die called root. Name the structure label for the PQR. 来 ，everyone， 给我知道一下 ，what is the name for the PQR? Yeah, yes, very good. Yeah, yes. For others， 其他人 ？OK, good， 很好。来，第一个 for the P is for the epidermal tissue。OK， 为什么 P 不是 for the cuticle 啊？来，这个等一下我们会有上到的，但我现在先给你们讲先。Cuticle is prevent the loss of water， 它是 waterproof 的，它是 waxy layer，right？But for the root， 它需要 absorb water， 所以如果在你的 root 那边，它是不可以有 cuticle 的，因为如果你有 cuticle 的话，就不能够 absorb water 了 ，because for the cuticle is waterproof， 明白那意思啊？所以这两个它就会撞到了，所以不可以。OK，and then for next one for the Q。Yes, very good. For the Q, this one is for the ground tissue. Okay, or maybe 你们要写 for the cortex 也是可以啦。Okay, this one. And then for the R 的话是 label for 两个 for the X and also for the Y. So this one is for the group 的。Okay， 所以你们可以帮我写下去 for the vascular tissue， 或者是你们要写 for the vascular cylinder 也是可以。OK， 可以，就是这样啦。And then for the next one, structure R consists of two types of the tissue, namely X and Y, involved in the transport of the substance. Name the two tissue. Okay, everyone, 给我知道一下 what is the name for the X and the Y? Vivian, Angeline, Isin, Lily, Casey. What is the X and the Y? Yeah, yes. Yes, very good. 来，帮我写下去。So for the X is for the xylem, and then for the Y is phloem. Okay, next, state the function of the tissue X and the tissue Y. 呀，所以如果 normally for function 最好是你们帮我写完整一点。很多学生都会直接写 transport water then 就 end 了 ，OK？ 然后如果可以的话，你帮我写完整一点 transport water and mineral salt from 哪里到哪里 ，OK？ So you can to write down transport water and mineral salt from root to leaf. But for the Y, for the phloem, this one is transport the organic substance. Leaf to other parts of plant. OK， 有什么字你们看不到的，给我知道啊。Okay, good. Okay, so for the next one, state one difference between the tissue X and the Y. Yeah, so for the xylem and the phloem. So what is the difference? 来，有谁可以给我知道的 ？What is the difference between the xylem and the phloem? You can base on the structure 也可以。Yeah，but 如果 function 的话不要，因为 function 的话上一题我们已经写了，呀，是那个 better 的不要啦，OK， 不要写回一样的答案。OK, good 很好 ，Yes, very good。来，你们帮我写下去 for the X xylem is a dead cell， 这个是属于 dead tissue 来的 ，OK？Because for the xylem 它是没有 cytoplasm 的，没有 cytoplasm 的我们 consider as a dead cell，but for the phloem 是有 cytoplasm 的 ，OK？So you can to write down whereas Y is a living cell， 呀、for 这个。或者你要写 for the xylem taken by lignin，but for the phloem 是没有 taken by lignin 的也 OK， 呀，这个也是可以 OK。Next, the outermost layer of the stem and the leaf are covered by the waxy and waterproof coating substance. So name the substance. Yes, very good. Cuticle. Give one reason why the plant need the substance state in 1C1. Yeah, so for the function to prevent water loss, okay, 或是 to reduce the water loss 也是可以。Water loss through evaporation. Okay, and then for the next one, explain one difference between the epidermis of stem and the root. Yeah, so for one different, 刚刚我讲过的咯。If for the stem, 它的 epidermis, that means for 它的 external layer, 它是有 cuticle 的 ，because 它要 prevent for the water loss. But for the root 的话是没有的 because 它要 absorb the water. Okay, so you can write that here. Stem has waxy cuticle which are waterproof, but root does not have waxy cuticles. Hello. This enables the root to absorb water and dissolve mineral ions from the soil. Yeah, like this. Done 了，给我知道。Then we go to the next one. Okay? Okay, good.因为如果你的 root 有 waxy cuticle，yeah yes，它可以防止的 water loss，但是你的 water 也不能够 diffuse in 了嘛，对不对？因为你的 cuticle 的 layer 它就是来一个 blockage 这样，如果你不能够 diffuse out，这样同时它也不能够 diffuse in，呀，它不能够做到就是我只让你不能够 diffuse out，但你还可以 keep diffuse in 啊，so far 还没有这样的东西啦，呀，这样子，所以它一定是双向的。OK, good，很好 ，very good。Yeah, for the next one, draw a simple label diagram to show the main tissue in the cross section of a leaf. Yeah, so for the main tissue, 这个最主要的话就是你们要画 for the xylem and phloem, because you can see 它这一题讲到最多就 for the xylem and phloem 的，所以你要帮我画 for the xylem and phloem 的 main tissue. That's mean for the position. 所以你们可以帮我画一下 for the tissue 的 structure. So 刚刚你们有看过来的 tissue 就很像一个 UFO 这样子的，很像一个飞盘的形状这样的。OK， 所以你们可以帮我画了，在这边。And then at the middle 还会有一个 bugging part. Okay, like this. So at the center,然后其中一个你可以帮我 share 起来 so that you can show the difference between the xylem and the phloem. Okay. So you can help me to label, draw a simple label diagram. Okay, like this. Okay. Next, in an experiment, the cross-section are obtained from the root, stem, and the leaf of a dicotyledonous which has been immersed in the red eosine solution for 2 hours. Yeah, so for the red eosine, that's mean for 这 solution 是红色的。After that, 它叫你 indicate which tissue are stained red？ 简单来讲，你的 solution 会 pass through 哪一个 tissue？ 所以你们觉得 for the solution 还是 pass through 哪里？ Yes, very good for the xylem because it's a xylem transport the water. Okay, so for the leaf 你可以帮我来一下咯。So for the xylem 这边 and then for the stem xylem 在里面 and then for the root yeah the star shape is a xylem. Okay, yeah, like this. So this is for the eudicotyledons. Next, state the difference between the arrangement of the vascular bundle in the stem and the vascular tissue in the root for the dicotyledonous and the monocotyledon. Yeah, so for the differences. So for the stem 的话最明显，我跟你们讲过 dicotyledon 它是 arranged in the ring form 的 but for the monocotyledon 它是 scattered 乱乱的 OK， 所以你们可以帮我写下去啦。For the first one, vascular bundle arranged in the ring form. For this one, the vascular bundles scattered throughout the stem. Yeah, like this. Okay, can? Next, for the root, vascular tissue. This one is for the vascular cylinder. Okay, 所以 for the root 的话 dicotyledons 它上面其实有 hints 给你的，它是 arranged in the star shape. Okay, for the xylem， 然后它的 phloem 是 fill up the surrounding 的。那如果是 for the monocotyledons， 它是 arranged in the ring form, alternate， 还记得吗 ？For the alternate xylem and the phloem 是 alternate 的。OK， 没有吗 ？It's OK。所以呢，你可以帮我看一下，这是 for the page 2啊 ，for the exercise。OK，so for the xylem in the form phloem tissue fills the area between the xylem tissue. Yeah, like this. Okay. And then for the monocotyledon, xylem tissue alternate with phloem tissue in the form of a ring. Yeah, like this. Okay. Okay, so for next one, question 2. Okay, diagram below show the location of the tissue in the plant. Label the type of the tissue for the A, B, C, D, and E in the box provided. Okay, 来 everyone, 给我知道一下 what is the tissue A, B, C, D, and E. 来，一人选一个，你们 try 看。This one is for the tissue 啊，tissue that means the type of the tissue. Okay, so for example， 你们就不要帮我写来的 xylem, phloem 这些啊，这个是它的 specific terms. OK， 他问你 the type of tissue， 呀，所以你们只可以写 the type 罢了。Yes, very good， 很好。Yeah, yes, very good. Yeah, so for the A that one is for the meristematic tissue. 这个是 for the A 的 ，OK，because you can see for the A 这个是 for the shoot tip and the root tip， 所以你们可以帮我 label 起来 for the shoot tip and root tip。OK，next for the B, that one is the B 整个这些的 ，Yes, very good, permanent tissue。Because for the B 它是 bracket for 那整个 leaf stem and the root. So leaf, stem and root they compulsory have a specific structure, specific function. 所以有 specific 这个字的 compulsory 是 for the permanent tissue 的。Okay? And then for the next one, for the C is for the external layer, outermost 最外面那层。Yes, very good for the epidermal tissue. And then for the D, yes, vascular tissue for the xylem and the phloem. Yeah, so for the last one, compulsory so for the ground tissue. Okay, next, Diagram below show the position of the permanent tissue in cross-section of a plant stem for the P and the Q. What is meant by the permanent tissue? OK，所以来你们可以帮我写下去。Permanent tissue are mature tissue OK， yeah, then after the differentiation, okay. Next, name the tissue label P and label Q. Yeah, so for the tissue, so for the P, epidermal tissue. And then for the Q is for the ground tissue. Yeah, so the type of tissue 你们要写这种 okay. Next, state two characteristic of the tissue P. Yeah, characteristic. So for the epidermal tissue, 它 compulsory 会有 cuticle, the waxy cuticle, the waterproof cuticle, okay. So has a waxy and waterproof layer called cuticle. Okay. Line next. 如果有哪一题你们没有写到的话，你们可以给我知道啊。OK，那我再开给你看。Next, based on your answer in 2C, explain how it is adapted for the tissue P to carry out its function. Yeah, so adaptation. OK, so you can to write out for the cuticle function 最主要就是 reduce the water loss. OK, so you can to write out the cuticle reduce loss of water during transpiration. Protect the leaf from mechanical injuries and pathogen. Yeah, like this. Okay. Next, what is the function of root cap? Yeah, so for the root cap, it's how to protect the root apical meristem. That means for the root tip. 它是负责 protect the root tip 的 okay? Protect the root tip from mechanical injury. Next, state an example of the cell modified found in the tissue P. Yeah, so the example of cell found in the P. P is for the epidermal cell. So epidermal cell 的 example, any example 都可以。来，给我知道一下 what is the example of the cell that modified found in the P? Yeah, yes, very good for the gut cell. And also, 除了 gut cell 以外呢？呀，我们有 gut cell，我们有 cuticle，我们还有 root hair cell，OK。But 如果 for 这一题的话，because for the tissue P 这个它跟你讲它在 stem 啊，呀，so for the stem 的话，better 的你就不要写 root hair cell 啦，所以你可以帮我写下去 for the gut cell，OK。Name the structure in the tissue Q that consists of a living cell. Living cell that means for the parenchyma, collenchyma. Tissue Q is for the ground tissue, okay. So you can to write down parenchyma. And collenchyma tissues. Okay, done already. Can let me know? I'm gonna go to 下一个。Okay, good for others. Okay, sure, can. Yeah, this one. 来好的话，我们 go to the process, which is a primary growth and also for the secondary growth. OK， 所以我们只剩最后两个 part for the process and also for the growth curve. OK， process 的话，等一下我们就会 try 做 for the essay 啦。OK， 所以等一下可能我们写的东西比较多一点。OK，but never mind， 我们准备一下。OK，fight for 我们的 exam。OK， OK can。OK， 来下一个，帮我开回一下你们的 notes， 然后帮我翻去 for the page 5。OK， 所以我讲一下啊，for 另外一个 part，for 第二个 part 哦，你们最主要会有写到的是 for 两个 essay 的，第一个是 for the tree growth zone，this one is for the primary growth，OK，and then later we'll learn about the secondary growth 的，OK，然后跟第三个 essay 你们一定要会的 is the differences between the primary and the secondary，OK，为什么 for the plant 它会有这两个 process？ 所以 can you to see growth zone in the plant，the first one。Zone of cell division, cell elongation, and cell differentiation. 所以 for 这三个 zone 我刚才跟你们讲过了，在 root tip and shoot tip 都会有这三个 zone 的 ，OK？ 跟我们做一个小小的 revision。这个三个 growth zone 是 for the primary growth， 所以 primary growth 的话，它们 compulsory 是 occur 在 apical, meristem, meristematic tissue，OK？So what is the function for the apical meristematic tissue？ 它是 for increase the length of the plant， 它是 for 增加它的长度跟高度的。所以这个可以发生在哪里呢？可以发生 for the shoot tip and also for the root tip。OK， so this is for the tree growth zone 啊。所以如果是 for the root 的话呢，是从下面开始 cell division, cell elongation, cell differentiation。而如果是 for the shoot，cell division, cell elongation, cell differentiation。opposite 的，倒反的。OK， 所以来你帮我看一下 for the cell division。cell division 最主要的 keyword 啊，你们一定要有写到的 first mitosis。because for the cell division 最重要是要 increase the number of cell。所以你讲可以从1变2， 2变4， 4变16，then 就是要 undergo for the mitosis。OK， 所以 can to highlight for the first point。meristematic cell divide by the mitosis，so this is the first point，OK， 然后第二个你们一定要懂得 characteristic of the cell，这个 sometime in the structure 或是 essay 它都会叫你写的，OK，what is a characteristic for the cell division, cell elongation， 三个 zone 你们都要懂 characteristic。So for the cell division， 最主要的 large nuclei， 因为它 undergo for the mitosis，mitosis 的话你就一定会用到 nucleus，OK，no vacuole。Then cytoplasm and the thin cell wall, so that 它 separate 的时候比较容易 separate， 所以它的 cell wall 是薄的 thin 的 ，OK，so this is for the characteristic That's all， 就是这样 ，OK。So after you form 了 a lot of the new cell 了，then 接下来我们就 go to the cell elongation. So what is the meaning for the elongation? That means for the size will expand， 它会变长、变大、变宽 ，OK。所以这里 for the first point，the water will diffuse into the vacuole by the osmosis。So this is the first point。所以从这里开始，你开始会 form a lot of the small vacuole，then all the water will diffuse in the vacuole， 你的 vacuole 就会慢慢 expand 变大、变大、变大。And all the small vacuole that will fuse together to form a large vacuole。So this is the second point. 所以 either 你们要写这一句 small vacuole fuse together to form the large vacuole， 或者是你们要直接写 for the vacuolation 也可以。vacuolation 是 for 它整个 process 的 terms 来的。所以其实这两个是一样的意思来的。所以你帮我 choose either one。如果你写了 vacuolation occurs， 你就不用写 small vacuole fuse to form a large vacuole。所以你自己 depends 啊，你看你要写哪一个比较舒服一点，你们比较容易明白的 ，OK？vacuolation. So that you can see for the process, you can see like all the small vacuole combine together so that you form a one large vacuole, OK? And also for the diffuse water that will exert the pressure against the cell wall, so it will elongate and then widen the cell. Like this. So for elongation, you remember the word long, long that means you want to increase the size. OK? Like this, 就是这样啦。And then for the last one, you will go to the cell differentiation. Differentiation 这个 characteristic 是最特别的。Differentiation 的话， you compulsory have a specialized cell, specific structure and a specific function 这就是它的 characteristic， 全部都是 specific。OK， so 你要 explain for 这个 process， 你要怎样 explain 呢？ After the cell have reached their maximum size, the cell differentiate into the permanent tissue. After 它们 reach a maximum。So the cell will change their shape and structure to become the specialized cell with the specific function. So this is the second point. And normally for the last point, 我们会写 example。这里的话，我们会写 example 的，OK？ So you help me to write out 1 or 2 example, then can already 啦。Like the xylem and phloem. Yeah, so this is the third point. Yeah, so this is for the cell differentiation. OK? So 整个都是 for the primary growth 的。OK 啊？来到这边 ，any question？ 有谁有地方不明白的吗？雨谦 Ken, Vivian, Angeline, Anne, OK？Brian, Casey, 凯奇。圣杰 Alvin, Ethan, 一心、一君 Tan, 宇娟 ，OK 啊 ？OK good good。Later 我们做练习 ，OK？ 来，你一开始如果你记不到完这些 point 的话，never mind 不用紧的 ，OK？I understand like for bio 每样都是很多 point 的，不用紧。Biology 一开始最主要你要明白那个 process。当你 understand 了过后嘞，那你们就去做练习。最主要是你们一定要懂它里面练习的东西，不懂啊？可能每一个人读书的方式不一样，我读书的方式是适合我的啦，你们可以 try 看看 ，OK？ 我的话，我比较喜欢做练习的 ，because based on 做练习，你可以懂题目，他问的题目是什么，所以你懂你要写什么答案。跟 biology 最主要是 answer scheme，because 你可以懂那个 point 是什么。所以 that's why 你会看到我一直 label 那个 mark 给你的，就是因为你其实只要写那个 point 就够了的，你不用写到邋遢邋遢一大堆长长的，明白那意思吗 ？OK？ 呀，就这样。等一下我们写 essay 的时候也是这样 ，OK？ 呀、so this one is for the primary growth。来下一个，那下一个我们直接先讲 for the secondary growth 先啊，我们直接讲 for the process， 等下我才帮你们 compare。This one is for the comparison. What is the difference? OK， 我们先讲 secondary growth 的先。所以来第一个，我们复习一下 secondary growth 的话呢，这个就是发生在 lateral meristematic tissue。OK？所以你在哪里可以找得到 lateral meristematic tissue？ 两个地方也是，第一个是 for the vascular cambium，and 另外一个是 for the cord cambium。OK， vascular cambium and the cord cambium. So what is the function for the secondary growth？ 它最主要是要 increase for the diameter， 最主要是要 increase for the thickness。OK， 呀，就是这样子啦。所以你可以帮我看啊，primary growth and secondary growth 其实很明显的。Primary 的话是长这个样子的，很 simple 的 for the diagram。But the secondary growth 是这样，you can see like a lot of the layer， 最少有4个 layer 在里面的 for the phloem and the xylem。OK， 所以考试的时候有时候它也是会出这两个 diagram 给你 ，and then it asks you to compare what is the difference between these two tissue。然后 so actually 解释，它就叫你解释啦，what is the difference between the primary growth and the secondary growth。所以其实很简单的。来，你们先帮我看 diagram 先，等下我们才 highlight for the sentence。先明白了过后，你们才慢慢帮我去 remember for the point。OK，so for example the first one， 第一个它是发生在 vascular cambium right？OK，所以 vascular cambium 在哪里啊 ？Cambium ring you can see the cambium is between the xylem and the phloem。OK，所以你的这个 cambium ring 哦，它会先开始 undergo for the mitosis，it will produce a lot of the new cell。它会 form the new xylem cell and also for the new phloem cell。所以当你 form 了新的 xylem and phloem， 来我们都懂的吗 ？biology 是很 specific 的，这个是新的。Then how can you show that 它是新的嘞？它的名字有一点点不一样，所以 that's why 它叫做 secondary xylem and also for the secondary phloem。所以如果新的叫 secondary， 这样旧的那些呢，我们就叫做 primary。所以其实旧的这个我们叫做 primary phloem and the primary xylem。所以 that's why 这个时候你就有4个tissue了。OK， 这样 for 那些新的 secondary 的 xylem and phloem 它们在哪里？它会从 cambium ring 那边开始 form 吗？是不是？所以你们可以帮我看这一边。所以你注意看啊，我画一个 diagram 给你，然后是 this is a circle。所以这个是 for 旧的 vascular tissue，and then at the middle is for the cambium ring。OK， 所以这些是 for all the 新的 cell。OK， 新的 xylem， 新的 phloem， 新的 xylem， 新的 phloem。So the chocolate one 是 for the 新的 xylem and the 新的 phloem 的。OK， 所以你们可以帮我看啊。所以你会看到啊，从 cambium ring 那边开始 form the mitosis。所以你会发现到哦，你的 secondary tissue 是最靠近你的 cambium ring 的，因为是从你的 cambium ring 这里开始先。所以你 all the secondary tissue 都是最靠近你的 cambium ring。所以代表什么意思？你这一层最靠近你 cambium ring 的就是 for the secondary phloem。So 外面那一层 for the outer layer，that one is for the primary phloem。所以很容易 label 到的，只要你看到最靠近 cambium ring 的 that one is a secondary。So far away 的那个就是 primary。For the xylem also the same， 最靠近你的 cambium ring 的 secondary xylem， 最外面的 primary xylem。OK，so for example， 你可以帮我看这个啊，你假没有看到那个字啦。OK， 你假你不要看那个字。So for 外面的这些 compulsory 是 for the primary 的，因为它是最外面。靠近你的 cambium ring 的 for 浅色的啊，this one is for the secondary。OK， 所以 for the labeling 是很简单报的。OK，so this is the first one。OK， 然后 for 你的 cord cambium 也是一样。So for the cord cambium also will undergo for the mitosis， 它也是会 produce a lot of the new cell。OK，so final you also will form the cord cambium， 它会变粗掉了。So that's why 你会看到它 crack 这样子的，它全部会变粗了。当它一出的时候，它就会 crack 了，它就开始裂了的。OK， 有一点像我们人这样啦。这个 sorry 啊，拍谁不是在讲这任何人，我在讲着我自己，我 OK 如果你是吃东西，你会变肥掉嘛，是不是？所以当我们人一肥了过后，你里面的肉撑了 ，OK， 所以你那个皮也是会裂掉的 ，OK， 然后你它会 crack 掉的 ，OK， 要 for 这个，所以当它变粗了过后，它撑爆了，所以才所以它那个皮，它的那个 cord 也会跟着裂掉，它会 crack 掉的 ，OK，like this one 啦 ，OK，so this is for the secondary growth， 所以你们可以帮我 highlight 起来 for 它的 sentence。Normally for 这 sentence 很简单的，第一个 vascular cambium divide actively through the mitosis. Yeah, so this is the first point. And the first one for the mitosis process. Okay, for the process name. And then for the second point, cell in the cambium ring divide inward will form the secondary xylem. Okay, outward will form the secondary phloem. Okay, what is the meaning for the inward and the outward 啊？因为刚才我讲过 phloem for the 皮的话你要 protect 你要 stand outside， so this one is outward， 所以你的 xylem 就是 inside 的 ，OK， 所以你的 xylem 在里面，你的 phloem 在外面 ，so that's why for the xylem is inward, the phloem is outward, OK， and then you can to see, so for all the primary xylem and also for the primary phloem， 它们会被 push 到远远的，总之离你的 cambium ring 越远越好。OK， 所以是你的 secondary 在中间，你的 secondary 是最靠近你的 cambium ring 的。OK，yeah for this one and then for the next, so for the primary xylem tissue, they will compress and thicken by the lignin. It can provide the mechanical strength to support the plant. Yeah, so this is a function. 这个也是 important for the secondary growth 的。所以为什么我们要有 secondary growth， 就是因为你可以 increase 它的那个 strength， 你可以 increase 它的 support。Okay, and also when the secondary xylem layer is compressed, so for the epidermis of the stem will stretch and crack. 就像我刚才讲的咯，因为它现在变粗了嘛，它里面太多滴数了，所以它撑爆掉。So that's why for the cord it will crack. Okay, yeah, for this one. So 你们可以帮我 label. So this is for the next point. And then for the next, the cord cambium also will divide actively mitosis. Divide 的话 compulsory 是 by the mitosis, okay? And then it will form the outer cord layer and the inner cortex. So it final will form for the protective bark. It can protect the plant. Okay? Yeah, that's all. 就是这样子啦。Yeah, 所以这些就是你的 point for the secondary growth 的。Okay? 来 for the stem 的话，有任何问题吗？Normally 考试问比较多是 for the stem 啦，其实 root 也是会有 secondary growth 的，等一下我们也是会 run through，but for root 的话就还好。Okay, 考试问比较多是 for the stem 的。Okay? Okay, good. For others， 其他人有问题吗 ？Any question？ 没有啊 ？OK 啊 ？OK, can。来下一个，这里面可以帮我看一下 for the root 的。OK。我们先看 for the differences 先 ，primary growth and the secondary growth for the differences。那这我刚才有讲过 ，primary 是 for increase the length，secondary is for increase the diameter，increase the thickness。Okay, so for the primary is occur in the apical meristem，but for the secondary 是 occur 在 lateral meristem 的。So for the example 里面也是可以写 apical 是 for the shoot tip and root tip，but for the lateral 是 for the vascular cambium and the cord cambium。Okay。And also for the type of plant, primary growth 是 all type of plant， 全部 plant 一定会有的，全部 plant compulsory 会增高，它们一定会变高的 ，because 它们要 obtain for the sunlight， 它们要 undergo for the photosynthesis。OK，but for 变粗不一定，有些 plant 是细的，有些 plant 是粗的啊，这个要 depends。OK，so this one normally is for the perennial plant。so perennial 等一下我们会上，或者你们可以帮我懂 ，normally for the eudicotyledon。Secondary growth normally 是 for the eudicotyledon 的，因为 eudi 我们讲过 woody plant，normally for the woody plant 都是粗的 ，OK， 只有 small number of the monocot，small number 一点点罢了， 只有一点点而已。But mostly 大多数的 Habakkuk 都不需要的。OK， 可以呀，就这样子啦。Next, for the growth is limited and the growth is unlimited. Yeah, so normally for the primary growth 的，他们有一些活1年就死掉了，第2年就死掉了。OK， 活1年吧，他们的寿命就是只有1年吧。But for the perennial 这个我们有学过，它可以活很多很多年的。啊，我们经常听过那种100年老树。OK， 几十年的那种老树啊。This one for the perennial. OK，and also for the growth pattern, normal sigmoid curve. What is the meaning for the sigmoid curve? S 一个 S 字形的 ，OK。But this one is for the annual series of the sigmoid curve. Annual series that means 很多个，所以它是这样子的，OK， 很多个的。But this one is like only one. But this one is like a lot. Yeah， 这样子。OK，Yeah，that's all， 就这样啦。So this is for the differences，所以你们可以帮我懂一下。OK。And then for the next one， 还有一个你们要帮我懂的 economic importance， 呀，这个 sometime 也是还会出在 essay 里面的。等一下 at the end 的时候，我会给你们一个小小的 checklist for the essay 啊，然后有上我课的人呢，我会过后的时候，我把全部 essay 的那些东西整理好了，因为我讲过嘛，你们 midterm 考试之前，我会很 focus 在你们 essay part 的那个地方 ，OK？ 所以你们 first term 的话，大多数都是没有考 essay 的，所以你们这次考试我就没有准备给你们。But for 你们下一次midterm 考试的时候呢，我会提早帮你们准备好，我会把每一个 chapter 都会出的 popular essay 的 topic， 我会 send 给你们，然后包括它里面的每个 question 的答案。我也会 send 给你们，所以有一点点像是 essay booklet 这样呀，所以才你们读 essay 就会比较方便。所以你要看你要复习哪一个 chapter， 你就直接翻过去那个 chapter 的，你就帮我读啊。你要读哪个 chapter， 你就直接翻过去那个 chapter， 你再帮我读你就可以了。OK 啊，这个你们 midterm 考试前的时候，等我会做给你们啦。然后可能有一些是没有上我课的学生，有一些是你今天只是来 join for the seminar 也不用紧。如果你不介意的话 ，OK， 你等一下你可以 WhatsApp 我。然后我再把那个 Form 5的 Chapter 1、Chapter 2、Chapter 3的我也是 send 给你们 ，OK， 因为你们也是要准备 for 你们的考试嘛 ，OK。目前的话，我只是做到 Form 5的 Chapter 4，OK，for 我的 class 的话，我只教到他们教到 Chapter 6吧。我目前 for all 的 essay 还有那个 analysis， 我目前做到 Chapter 4，OK，所以我过后慢慢我做好了，然后我再做给你们咯。OK， 可以这是 prepare for 你们 midterm 的 first term 的话，你们主要帮我准备 for structure 先。OK 这个啦，所以你们可以帮我看。所以 for the economic importance 这个也是会出在 for the essay 的 ，normally for 4分到6分，所以你们这个也可以帮我懂一下 for 它的 point。OK，undergo for the secondary growth 的他们会更有价值，他们的商业价值会比较高。Why? Because for first one 他们比较粗的意思说他们比较硬，所以他们可以拿来做更多的 product，example 来的 high quality furniture door 这一些。跟通常 after the secondary growth 它会有 annual ring 年轮 ，OK for the 年轮的，所以 can make the furniture look attractive， 而且每一棵树都有自己 specific 的年轮，所以它就比较有吸引力一点点。对，所以你买了这个回家，这个全世界就只有你一个吧，独一无二的来的 ，OK， 就是这样了。所以以后求婚不要用钻石。买 annual ring， 买那个树做出来的，你就跟你的未婚妻讲，不，跟你要订婚的那个人讲，就讲这个全世界就只有你一个人有吧？钻石谁都可以买，对不对？你要3卡拉、4卡拉、5卡拉，全部你去那个店买就有了嘛。把这个就只有你有罢了 ，OK 所以这就是小心思，我会不会讲错东西？什么3八不是3八的，不是3班也是可以拿来做3班也是 OK 的 ，OK， 然后比较 strong 嘛 ，OK， 比较强一点点这个 ，OK，and also for the wood and bark，OK，for this one produce a useful resin and oil 这个也是可以，所以你们可以帮我懂一下 ，OK for 几个 point，and also for the next one，fruit tree can produce fruit，have longer lifespan，OK，no replanting in the short period，and also for the local consumption and export， so you can generate income for the country。OK， for 这个所以你们可以帮我懂一下4到6个 point。OK，that's all， 就是这样。然后 for the important of primary goal and secondary， 这其实我刚才讲过很多次了啦。Primary 最主要就是 increase 它的 length， 为什么还要 increase the length 呢 ？So that you can absorb the maximum amount of sunlight for photosynthesis。所以其实 for 这个 process 它只是一直在重复这一样的东西罢了。总之你就帮我记得 primary 就是 for increase the length， 它就是 for apical， 然后就是 occur at the shoot tip and the root tip， 就是这样。 所以它其实都是一样的东西来的 ，OK？And the secondary growth 就是 increase the diameter，它就是要 for provide support 的，跟它有4个 layer 嘛，它有4个 tissue right，for the primary xylem、primary phloem、secondary xylem、secondary phloem，所以每一个都有自己不一样的 function 的，所以这个也是它的好处来的。OK，so for example，like it can produce a new phloem and a new xylem，so it can replace the old and damaged one，或者是它可以 produce a thick and strong bark，比较粗，so it can protect the plant。就是这样。OK。that's all. So this is for the primary and the secondary 的。And also for the formation of annual ring， 把这个就还好，这个 normally 都是出 for structure 罢了的 ，OK， 因为这个的分数就比较少，either 都是 for 2分、2分到3分、4分这样子罢了的 ，OK，for the formation。So for example， 来第一个，所以他们考试就会问你咯，为什么还会 form 2个不同 color 的 layer 出来 ，OK，for the circle 有 dark color and also for the light color 的。第一个 ，normally for the spring。If you have enough water and also for the sunlight， that means 说你的 photosynthesis rate 那些都是会非常的好，你的 living process 都会很好的。So you will produce a large and thin wall of the xylem vessel. So that's why 它是 lighter color 的。large and thin wall， so large that means 它比较粗，所以你会发现到浅色那一些的都是比较粗的 ，you can see 比较粗的这些都是 for 浅色的 ，for spring，that means 说它环境很好的时候。But 如果是 for the summer that means for the growth is unsuitable, so it will produce a narrow xylem vessel. So that's why it's like darker in color. Narrow 嘛，它比较窄嘛，所以它就会比较黑比较暗淡一点。for this one. So the ring pattern show alternate light and dark region. that's all. 所以一浅一深是1年，一浅一深是1年。for 这个，所以你就可以算到那棵树有多少年。等一下我们一起做那个练习。so we done already for the second part. For all the primary and the primary growth and the secondary growth. 所以来，我们现在来做练习。谢谢你，Thank you。来 next 下一个，所以你们可以帮我看这一边。可以，没问题。来，你们帮我看一下，我们主要做 process 啊。我 make sure that 你们都会做完了整个 process。我们先做一题 primary 的，一题 secondary 的。so you can to see it here for the question 4. Diagram below show the zone of the cell growth at the shoot tip. So this one is for the shoot tip. Name the type of the meristematic tissue form. The type of meristematic. So for the shoot tip 的话 this one compulsory is yes, very good, apical. So 你们可以帮我写下去 apical meristem tissue. Next. What is the type of growth shown above? The type of growth. 所以这个 compulsory 是 primary growth. Apical 就一定是 for the primary 的啦。Next, define the type of growth mentioned in 2B. So define 你可以帮我写 for the definition. 所以 primary growth 的话，最主要它是要 increase for the length, 然后它是 occur after the germination 的。That means 你的种子发芽了过后就是 for the primary 了啦。So you come to write out primary growth is the type of growth that occurs in the after seed germinations. To elongate their root and shoot. Like this. Insta 也是可以啊，你们看你们自己喜欢啦，你比较喜欢用哪一个来 PM 我都 OK。如果你要 WhatsApp 我的话，你就可以 WhatsApp 过来这个号码。如果你要 Insta 的话，这是我的 Insta ID。如果你们不介意的话，你们要来 follow 我也是可以啊，我也是会 follow 回去你们 ，OK？所以这是我的 Insta ID 啦 ，Stephy 114 ，OK？这样有时候如果我有做一些 extra 的 material， 或者是可能我有开班什么这样，有时候我也是会 po 在我 Insta Story 的，所以如果你们懂了的话你要 join 也是可以过来 join 的 ，OK？ 可以，就这样子啦。呀，对，11月14号是我生日，情人节，谢谢。每一个月14号都是情人节了，怎么嘞？你们有人也是11月14号生日啊？来啊，我们一起庆祝啦，走。哦，你是9月14，9月14是什么？我就不记得了诶。OK，不用紧啦，一样吧，差不多了，一起啦。OK。哎，对，然后我可以麻烦你们一件事情嘛，就是你们过后有些学校会有考 first term 嘛，OK，大多数学校都有考 first term 的。如果你们是有考 first term 的人哦，然后如果你是在其他地区的，因为我主要都是教斯兰哦 area 的，OK，如果你是其他地区的人啊，OK，可能或者你可能是 OK 啊，另外你不是其他地区也好，可能你也是斯兰哦，但是你是其他学校的，你可以吗？麻烦你们就是考完试了过后，如果你拿到你考卷，哎，你们可以 send 给我。你拍照了，你 send 给我，因为我要收集我学生的考卷，所以才每一年我都可以让他们的 junior 去做更多的练习。So for example，好像你们现在做的这些练习哦，全部都是 come from 巴西的人，OK？然后我很喜欢给我学生做考题，因为考题比较针对性，你们做多，你们才可以知道那个 question，你们才懂那个 answer scheme 是什么。Oh my god，thank you，谢谢你。OK，thanks。来下一个。Describe the role of the cell in the zone P. Yeah, so for the role of cell, yeah, so this one is for the meristem. 所以 meristem cell 最主要就是 for growth 啦，它只是 for function，所以它最主要 undergo 的 process 就是 for mitosis. R divide actively through mitosis. 你要卖，it's okay，没关系，谢谢你，thank you。The number of cell. Okay. Next, vacuolation is a process that occurs in zone Q. What is mean by vacuolation? Yeah, vacuolation 就是 for increase 它的那个 size of the vacuole 的 all the small vacuole that fuse together. So small vacuole. 所以这个是 for 第二个 zone 啊，zone of cell elongation 的那个，这个是 for 第二个 zone 的，OK？ Small vacuole fuses to form a large vacuole. Okay? Yeah, that's all. Primary 也比较简单，OK，Primary 最主要你们帮我懂每个 zone 的名字，然后跟每一个 zone 里面的 process 跟它的 characteristic of cell 就可以了，OK。等一下我们 try 做一题 essay for the secondary growth 的，OK。Next, draw the difference of the vacuole condition inside the cell at the zone P and zone Q，OK？Suppose if for the zone P and zone Q，sorry 啊，你们帮我改一下 P and Q，OK，有一个 correction 在这边的，OK。Yeah, so for the zone P，如果是 for zone P 来讲的话呢，你们就可以帮我画咯，OK，for 它的那个 nucleus，这个是 for the dense cytoplasm。第一个 zone 你要画 vacuole 可以，但是它是 small vacuole，很小很小个的，所以你 just like draw the small vacuole 就可以了。This one is in the zone 1，OK，就第一个 zone 的时候，如果你需要第二个 zone for the zone Q 的时候，这个你就要画 for the big vacuole 啦，OK，所以你可以 form 一个大个的 vacuole 在这里。OK 的话，for the zone P 你的 nucleus 可以画大个一点哦，比你的 Q 的再大。Because for the first zone 的话，就是 for the mitosis 的嘛，OK。然后这个的 cytoplasm 就还好。Zone P 有 dense cytoplasm 的 characteristic 啊，OK 呀，所以那个 cytoplasm 会比较多。Yeah, like this. So you can show for the differences. 所以一个是比较小的，一个是比较大的，一个是小 vacuole，一个是大 vacuole，OK。So what is the importance of the vacuolation? 所以它最主要就是要 increase for the size，OK。So the large vacuole against the cell wall which push and widens the cell. Okay, next, state the shape and the structure of the cell in the zone R. Yeah, so for the zone R is the cell differentiation. So for 这些他们都有自己 specific structure 跟 specific function 的 Okay, so for the cell has various shape and structure depends on their function. Yeah, that's all. 就是这样了。好，来给我知道。等我们 go to 下一题的。Okay, good. 好的人帮我翻去第18面的 page 18 question 11 OK OK 其他人好了吗 Yeah, yeah, of course can 等一下 before end 之前你再给我知道 OK 然后我再 show 给你看多一次拍谁啊 OK OK， 那你们看啊，这个是 for the small vacuole，所以 small vacuole 的话，你跟那个 cell wall 的距离是比较远的，所以当它在慢慢 expand，它在慢慢变大的时候，你会发现它跟那个 cell wall 的距离会越来越靠近。所以当它的 size 在 increase 的时候哦，当它越来越靠近那个 cell wall，它也会 produce 那个 pressure。because 你越来越靠近了嘛，OK，for 那个 cell wall，所以 for 你的那个 cell wall actually 它是 rigid layer 来的，OK，它是很硬的，because 它要 maintain the shape of the plant cell，OK，所以当你的那个 vacuole 它要 push 过去你的 cell wall 的时候，它 push 不到，它就会 produce a pressure 在那边，so for 那个 pressure 就可以帮助 widen and elongate the cell，它就会把它变长了，OK，for 这一个。Okay, good. 来，帮我看下一个 for the page 18的。Yeah, this one. This is question 11. Diagram 3.1 show the cross section of an ill dicot root. Explain the function of the structure X and the Y. Yeah, so for the X is for the phloem and then for the Y is the xylem. Okay. For 这个的话，你们回去做，因为这个 function 我相信你们都会有的。OK，我主要跟你们 explain for the process 先。Structure Z separate for the structure X and the Y during the secondary growth. Explain the process that take place in the structure Z, which enable the root to increase in size during the secondary growth. Yeah, so for the structure Z 的话，它是 between 你的 xylem and the phloem, so that one is a vascular cambium. 所以我们来 explain 一下 for 那个 process 4分。So for the first point, structure Z is vascular cambium. Yeah, so the process carried out in the vascular cambium, mitosis, okay? Vascular cambium, cells divide actively by mitosis to form a complete ring called cambium ring. The cell in the cambium ring divide inwards to form secondary xylem and divide outwards to form secondary phloem. Okay, 你们可以帮我 label for the point first, second, 最主要的 keyword for the mitosis. And then for the third point, you form the secondary xylem and secondary phloem. Yeah, 所以4分在这边啊。PDF 啊，你 WhatsApp 哦。呀，因为等一下我还有多一场嘛，4点到6点的，有时候我怕等下 after 6点的过后我忘记了。OK。Okay, next. Predict what will happen to the plant if the structure Z is not formed. 如果你没有 vascular cambium so compulsory, all the process adhere 你就不会发生了啦，你就不会有 mitosis，你就不会 form the secondary xylem and the secondary phloem. Okay, so you can to write out adhere. So for the structure, secondary xylem and secondary phloem cannot be formed. There will not be an increase in the diameter of the root. Yeah, like this. 好的话给我知道，我们 go to 下一个。OK。接下来给我知道啊。OK， 好了吗？题的 next。Okay, so for next one is compare and contrast the primary growth and the secondary growth in the root of the eudicote plant. Yeah, so you can write out for the similarity and the differences. So for example, 第一个 both growth increase the size of root increase the size of shoot. Okay. Involve mitosis process. Can occur in woody plants. Okay. Next, for the differences, primary and the secondary. 所以你们可以帮我写下去。如果你们要画 for the table in the essay 啊，then 你们要写 short sentence 啊，OK，这个我提醒一下，你们要帮我写 short sentence。So for example, like the primary growth, this one will occurs in the apical meristematic tissue. Lateral meristematic tissue. OK，然后第二个 occurs in the young roots. Occurs in the mature roots. Okay, can. Okay, and then for the next one. OK，呀，就这样了，写好了给我知道。Okay, good. Exam can write in point form or essay type. Normally 我都会建议我学生写 in paragraph 啊，你的 point form，OK，actually 我们一般都写 in sentence 都好哦，把你的 point 也不用写到太过的，OK，example 他会这样讲，for example，好像来 just now 我们有写嘛，like if 如果你没有那个 structure Z 的话，then what happened to the plant？你不需要写太过复杂，if structure Z does not have structure Z，then the plant will 不需要，我们可以直接写 for the effect 呀，for 它的 consequence 就可以了。But 你要写 in sentence 啦，最好是写 in sentence 呀，for 一个 paragraph 这样子的，这个比较好啦。OK，OK，good，、very good。来 for others 好了吗？其他人 Radial growth 的意思代表说你可以 grow and then 你可以 form for the wood， 你可以 form for the cork， 你可以 form like a lot of the tissue that after the secondary growth 才会有的啊，这个我们叫做 radial growth 了。OK。OK, good。来，叫我们来看 for 最后一个东西，which is a growth curve。OK，所以我们可以帮我看一下 for 最后一面的。Actually, for the growth curve 很简单啊。OK，type of the plant based on the life cycle。所以这里我们有分成3种 plant，但是很简单的，你 based on 它的 alphabet， 其实你都会懂了它的那个 different type。For example, the first one, annual plant。Annual is start with the A。A 的话，A 是 for 第一个嘛，我们学的全部英文字母里面 A 就是第一个了，所以这个就是 for one。So 它 only live for 1 year， 它只是 for 1 season， 它只有一个 sigmoid curve 罢了。So this one is for the annual。所以 based on the A， 你就会懂这个是 one 了。So that's why you can see live for 1 year, 1 season, okay, only have 1 sigmoid curve. So this one is for the annual plant, okay? But for the second one, for the biennial， 如果是 for the biennial plant for the B， yeah, so what is the meaning for B? B is for the second one， 第二个 alphabet， 所以 B 的话就是 for 2的 2。So this one got 2 years, 2 growing season, 2 sigmoid curve， 全部都是 2的。最后一个呢是 for the perennial plant。So for the perennial plant for the P 的话就是很后面了嘛，表示是很多个。So for this one can live more than 2 years. So that's why you can see the annual series of the sigmoid curve. So this one is the annual series of 很多个的，所以这个活很多年的。Okay, so you can see series of the small sigmoid curve. Yeah, like this. Annual plant 的话，你们就要帮我懂一下 for 它的 graph 的那个意思 ，especially for the A 的啊，这是你们考试很喜欢问的啦。为什么 for A 这边它会 decrease in the dry mass， 就 for 它的重量？为什么它重量反而会 decrease？ 当它要成长的时候 ，because 这个是 before 你的 seed 要 germinate， 当它要 germinate 的时候，它一定要 use a lot of the energy 的 energy are come from food。But for the seed， 它们是没有叶子的，它们不可以 undergo for the photosynthesis， 这样它讲可以 produce for the energy 嘞？ So it will use all the food that's stored in the cotyledon， 所以它会把它里面的 nutrient digest 掉 to provide the energy for the germination。所以当你 digest 你的 food 的时候 ，then at the same time 你也是会用掉那一些 dry mass， 你的 dry mass 就会减少啦 ，because for 你的 food 也是会 reduce 了嘛，对不对 ？But after B 了过后哦，你的 dry mass 就会 increase 了的 ，because 这时候你开始 form 叶子了，你开始 form leaf，you will have a photosynthesis，so that's why you will increase the dry mass。Because 你开始 produce a nutrient, because a plant have a leaf to carry out a photosynthesis. Yeah, like this 哦，就是这样。所以你可以帮我懂1到2个 example 啦，like the paddy plant, pumpkin, watermelon. Okay. Next for the biennial, okay, biennial for B， 所以这是 for 2的，所以这个有2个 season， 所以你可以帮我懂一下这2个 season 发生的东西。Example for the first one, first season is for the vegetative growth, so this one you start to grow the root, leaf, and the stem for the basic structure。它的 basic organ， 那你就会开始 for the photosynthesis， 然后还要 prepare for the second season。prepare for the second season which is a reproduction。 So 为什么它这里要有很多 photosynthesis？ You need to store food, you need to store a lot of the energy so that you can use for the reproduction. Okay? Yeah, so now you can how to produce like the flower, the seed, or the fruit. Yeah, so this is for the reproduction. Okay? That's all， 就是这样。And then for the perennial 的话就还好 ，perennial 你们可以帮我懂咯。So this one got the grass, hibiscus, mango. And then for the biennial 的话有 carrot, onion 啊这些，所以你们可以帮我懂1到2个 example，OK？、然后 for the perennial 因为它可以活很多年，所以这个基本上它的 growing season 就只是分成2种罢了。比较好的 growing season example like the spring and the summer provide the best growing condition, highlight intensity, optimum temperature, so 你的 photosynthesis rate 很高，所以这时候它会成长到很快。But when go to like the winter， 它的 growth 就会开始 slow down and stop 咯，它会开始 protect 它自己。所以 this one is the perennial， 把你的 season 一变好了，等它又再回来了的。OK， 所以 perennial 的其实还好。For the process 来讲的话，最重要的是 annual 你们一定要懂。OK， 可以 for 这个，所以我给你们看一下刚刚我跟你们讲的 for the essay topic 的那个 OK， 不是这边，等一下啊 ，this one， yeah， this one for the form 5的 Yeah, this one is for the chapter 1 chapter 2. OK，我先给你们这两个 for the topic checklist 先，我也不要给你们太多，不然的话你们回去复习也比较难复习。OK，所以你们可以先帮我看一下 for the chapter 1的。So based on chapter 1这一边呢，你们很明显可以看得到 for the first process。You need to know like how to describe the process that occur in the shoot tip and the root tip. That means for the tree growth zone 的那个，就是我们刚刚学的。OK， Yeah, like this 啊。So this one is explained for the tree growth zone. 呀，这个可以出到 for 10分的。这里的分数我都是参考 for the trial 或是 for the past year，他们曾经有出过的。我拿大的号码啦，我不要拿小的，OK？因为我不要你们只是记得 minimum，你们可以的话，你们帮我懂 for 它的 maximum，这样你们可以 prepare 嘛，对不对？然后如果是 for the secondary growth 的 title 嘞，来，它可以问的就有这些啦。Example 第一个，还叫你 state the difference between the primary and the secondary，啊，这我们刚才做过的，啊，这个可以8分到10分都 OK 的。And then the plant that undergo the secondary growth usually have a high commercial value，然后有比较高的价值的 explain， also need to explain about the function 啊。所以 example 是我们刚才讲的，它可以拿来做timber，它可以拿来做 furniture，它可以拿来做 oil 啊，这些都是它的 commercial value 来的。Okay, describe the primary and the secondary growth in the flowering plant. Yeah, so this is for the process. Or maybe 还叫你 describe the changes in the stem and the root that result in the formation of the secondary tissue. 那其实这两个是很像的。Actually, for the describe the changes 也是在讲在它的 process，只是我 show 给你看啊。其实这一种题目它也是要你解释 about the process，因为有很多学生他只要换个题目了过后他就不懂要讲回答了吧？Actually 它是一样的东西来的。OK，它都是 show for the process。And then for the last one, explain the shape of the growth curve for the annual plant, biennial plant, and the perennial plant。呀，这个的话都是5分罢了，这个不会出多的，OK，因为这个一点点罢了。呀，就这样。So this is the example of the essay topic 可以出的。当然，它可以出在 essay，它也可以出在 structure，只是它的分数比较少一点罢了。所以其实只要你会 for 的 essay 的，你就可以会 for structure 了。所以这个你们如果要的话，你们可以帮我拍下来啦。然后你们每次做复习的时候，你可以 based on 这一边来做复习。所以你就问你自己哦，你看你可不可以 list 得到这一些 point？OK，如果你 list 到完10分，能代表说你这个 chapter 的 essay 你是没有问题了的。OK，就是这样啦。然后 for chapter 2的话呢，它是 learn about the leaf structure and function，然后还有 photosynthesis，还有 transpiration 的东西的，OK，所以这一个它的 essay 就比较多一点，因为单单 for the photosynthesis and transpiration 就已经是两个很重要的 process 了，OK，所以这个你会看到它的分数也比较高啦，所以that's why它的东西也会比较多，所以这里面也可以再往准备一下。如果你 first term 是没有 chapter 2的，你就不用准备咯，啊，如果是有的，那边可以帮我准备一下，啊，这样其他人你可以帮我准备 for 你的 midterm 啦，OK，so this one is for the essay 的，OK。怎样知道这棵植物死了？它的叶子枯了，它的叶子的 leaf 变黄了，然后它不会再 absorb for the water。很明显，你看到它的那个 stem 变 chocolate 色了的，就已经就是死了的那种 pattern。我不明白什么意思，就是你要 based on the appearance 啊，因为 based on appearance 的话很容易看得出的嘛，就是你只要看到它的那个 leaf 全部掉到七七八八了的。OK，或者是 for 它的 stem 已经是开了的，OK，已经要干了的那种的，它不会再 absorb water 了，then 就是死了咯。呀，就是这样子了。OK，可以。来，我们来 try for 一题 for the annual plan， so for the biennial plan 的那一个，OK，所以这个你们拍下来了吗？OK，如果你是讲说你要那个 example of the essay 的话啊，那个我们过后会再给你们，OK，过后会再给你们啦，OK，before 你们 midterm 之前，OK，来，你们帮我看一下我现在的，so for the yeah this one。Question 13，你们帮我翻去第22面的 for the page 22 for the question 13. Therein below show a growth curve of a germinating seed of a plant. The growth rate is different at the stage J and the K. Explain the difference. Yeah, so for the differences，来，你们可以帮我写下去。为什么 for J 跟 K 的时候，for 你的那个 dry mass 不一样？J 的时候你的 dry mass 是 decrease， 而 K 的时候是 increase， 所以你们就帮我写刚刚的 point 咯。So the first point in state J, dry mass decreases. This is because store food in the cotyledon. to provide energy. In stage Y, dry mass increase. The young plant have green leaf to carry out photosynthesis. Yeah, that's all. Next, identify the type of plant and state an example of a plant that has the growth curve as shown above. Yeah, so for the type of plant, yeah, 这个只有一个 S 罢了, so compulsory is a annual plant. And then for the example, paddy, watermelon, pumpkin, 那都可以. Okay? Predict what happened to the plant after the stage care, give reason for your answer. So after stage care 都代表说你最 best 的那个 growing session 是已经 end 了的 ，OK？ 所以它 either 就是 become constant 或者它会开始 decrease， 跟我们人一样。我们 after the teenager 的我们 growth 到很快了过后，你 become the adult 你就是 constant 了，然后你 go to old people 的你就是下了的 ，OK？ 所以你们可以帮我写下去哦。So for the mass decreases due to aging. 或是你要写 for the lower rate of photosynthesis. Okay. Okay. So as a conclusion for the chapter 1, 最主要第一个你们要帮我懂 for the two type of the plant tissue, meristematic tissue and also for the permanent tissue. 它里面全部的 example, function and also for the diagram, 你们可以帮我知道一下. So this is for the first one. And then for the second one, you will learn for the process. So we have a primary growth and a secondary growth. So inside the primary growth, 我们有3个 growth zone, okay? For the zone of cell division, cell elongation and the cell differentiation. 所以这里你们要帮我懂它每一个的 process and also for the characteristic of the cell. Okay? And then for the secondary growth, normally 它考试问比较多都是 for the stem 的啦，所以你可以帮我懂 stem 里面 labeling 哪一个是 secondary， 哪一个是 primary。然后 explain for 那个 process， 你的 cambium ring 发生了什么事情，你的 cork cambium 发生了什么事情。Okay, explain for the process inside. So this is for the secondary growth. Okay. After that, what is the commercial value for the secondary growth plant? Okay, after secondary growth 为什么还比较有价值？为什么它卖出去的价钱会比较高？所以你可以帮我懂 for 那个 point. Okay, and then for the differences between the primary and the secondary. So the last one, the tree growth curve for the tree type of plant. 就这样啦。所以这是我们 Chapter 1里面我们学的东西，所以你们可以帮我复习一下。OK， 所以如果可以的话，来这个练习你们回去可以帮我做完它。然后 for the answer 的话呢，会 post 在那个你们 click 进来的那个 link 那边你们上面应该会有看到那个 PDF note 的，对不对？你们按进去那个 PDF note 里面呢，就会有那个答案了的，所以你们可以直接看里面的答案。OK， 所以你们可以帮我做完它。OK， 帮我做完 before 你们的 exam 啦。然后如果你们有什么地方不明白，有什么地方要问，或是你有什么 extra exercise 是你想要跟我拿的，等你们都可以来 WhatsApp 我，给我知道。OK， 然后或者是你要 Insta PM 我也是可以。OK， 就是这样子啦。So for today class, any question 有任何问题吗？于谦 Ken, Vivian, Angeline, Casey, 凯奇 ，OK， 玉娟、齐轩、一君。一心 Ethan, Alvin, 郑杰OK, Ken 第7面的 OK for 这个其中一题是哪一题的？你给我知道 OK 你们写好了给我知道啊 OK, thank you. 所以希望 after 今天的 revision，你们可以了解到完这整个 chapter one，OK，然后有任何问题的话，你们再给我知道。然后如果可以的话，我不知道可不可以麻烦你们一件事情，就是来 after 这个 class 了过后，你们 after 来全部东西好了过后，then 你们可以 WhatsApp 给我知道你们明不明白没有 for 今天的这一堂 revision，OK 啊，你们 OK 没有啊？然后 for 练习你们 OK 没有啊？你们给我知道一下你们的 feedback。So before 你们 midterm 的时候呢，等我可以 prepare 来更好的东西给你们，可以吗？OK 吗？谢谢你们啊，Thank you 啊。Yeah, so that's all for our class, our seminar today. 谢谢你们的出席，拜拜，我们下一次见，拜，Thank you，拜拜。